welcome to the Safety and Security Update meeting. This is the third and the final meeting for this calendar year. Everybody has been sent a copy of the agenda, and inside the agenda are a number of links. The first one of which is a PowerPoint presentation. The second one was the meeting ID notice, so you can sign in here. And then the third one is the public notice of the meeting on May 10th, which was published last week in accordance with the 72-hour rule for that. So if there are any questions, also Mr. Jay Whitehead has included in the comments section a link that you can go in and sign. So, and the difference of managing your time well, I will not do an open roll. If you can just click on that link, put your first initial and last name so I can note that you were in the meeting. With that, I will see if there's introductions or any announcements that anyone has from the floor as I pull the presentation up.
I missed that. Where is the link to sign in?
It should be in the comments section. Hopefully everybody was able to find that. All right, hearing no comments, I'm assuming everybody was able to find that. I'm now pulling up the presentation. Hopefully we'll be able to see that. Is everybody able to see the presentation? It says Safety and Security Update, May 10th, 2021.
I did for a second, and then it went away.
Oh. Well, that's not helpful. Let me see where it went.
There you go.
Okay, so it's back up. All right. So, and in the interest of time, we'll go ahead and push through this. We've got a pretty hefty agenda. I'm going to try and get through this pretty quickly. At any point, if you have a question, please stop me and ask your question. Otherwise, I'm going to just continue to march through so I can manage your calendar and your time appropriately. This is Safety and Security Update meeting starting May 10th, 2021. And to give you a brief update, due to COVID-19, the safety procedures at the sporting venues, safety specialists were assigned to work all sporting venues in an effort to maintain the district's policy and the state's policy on wearing masks and social distancing to the degree that they can. At all the sporting events that we've had since since your last briefing, in most all instances, the attendees complied with the request of the campus administration, the safety specialists, or the police officers. There are a number of individuals that were ejected or removed from the facilities for their refusal, but those numbers were in the minority versus the majority. So most folks complied, so we've went through that pretty well, and most folks were thanking us for having a presence there to make sure the safety of all the staff, students, and attendees. Again, due to the COVID-19, we had modified drill schedules continued through this last semesters, and those drills consisted of the fire drills, the lockdown drills, the secure drills, the evacuate drills, the shelter drills, and the hold drills. What we instead did to make sure we had social distancing and didn't put anybody's health in jeopardy, we did what's called a tabletop walkthrough. So the principals or the administrators would have done all of those drills, and either via the intercom or via explicit instructions to their staff, the campus administrators, principals were able to tell those staffs exactly what they needed to do and explain to the students exactly, if this was a normal environment, what would actually occur. We didn't have any major issues with that, and even though the governor has will lift the mask ban June 1, we still continue that prospect through the end of the school year to ensure that we don't at risk expose our students or staff or visitors to any COVID-19. The safety audits continued. We ended our 3-year cycle, We made our report to the Texas School Safety Center, who was responsible for compiling all that information on behalf of the TEA. We submitted our report early and they have it in hand. The audits that we did this year were minor in nature. Most of the items were for improvement, were fixed out of the last year's issues that came up. And any of the outliers will be fixed hopefully with the 2019 bond as it continues to move forward. So we had some stuff that was in the bond to be completed and it just hasn't come to the timetable where we've actually had to use the business services to fix those things yet, because they're either part of new construction or things that are still yet to come. The new audit cycle has started. The schools that were audited this year were NAY. NAY was not audited last year, which was part of the 3-year cycle previously because of COVID-19 due to the extended spring break. Texas School Safety Center and TA were notified that that school would be the first one that was done this calendar year, and it has been. TWOG, Lighthouse Learning Center, Brazos Success Academy, Rasco, the Administration Building, and Griffith audits have all been completed. There is a spreadsheet that has been compiled that has issues that are related to maintenance and operation, which have been signed over to Ken Schulte in collaboration with the campus principals. And then there's items within technology that, again, with Mr. Berger, has been, we'll collaborate with those administrators to make sure they find a fix or find, that they need to be tabled or find other resolutions to try and get those moving forward. The other items were small in nature, were either procedural, policy, or training issues that have been taking place by the administration, safety and security coordinator, or with the chief of police. The safety audit findings request for additional surveillance capabilities, again, tends to be a reoccurring theme in all the safety audits. They've got dead spots. We need more cameras. Cameras are not working. And again, these are all issues that are issues for the 2019 bond that Mr. Berger and his crew are working diligently to resolve. But again, it's a process. It's not a sprint. It doesn't happen overnight. It's going to take them a while, and the principals and administrators have been advised that their issues have been noted. The audit team has been notified that these are issues that will continue to be looked at. And again, the auditors were critical to say these are reoccurring things that have been a issue for multiple years. And again, it's a high dollar capital issue, so it's going to take a while for that process to work through on the bond. And they have been explained that, and they understand. So it's not like we're not doing anything. We're trying to move forward. Safety audit continues. Again, only minor procedural planning issues found, and they have been fixed. Request for additional staffing at multiple campuses is another reoccurring theme. And again, with the downturn in the student population or the student numbers and the funding source for the district, that's going to be an issue that's going to have to be looked at and managed as we move forward. There's no quick fix for that. And, we just have to, do the funding issues, and we're just going to have to stretch and grow people to the degree we can to make sure that we meet the needs of the staff and the students. Safety audit continued. Maintenance operation issues. Campus administration is working with maintenance operation directions for solutions. And again, it's a spreadsheet that we put together where it's we won't lose it. It gives the campus administrator the responsibility to be the person that manages those things and keep track of them, with assistance and observation from the coordinator of safety and security. Mr. Schulte and Mr. Berger, are aware of what needs to be done, and they're working diligently to help make resolutions possible for the campus administration. Moving forward to the continued again, technology issues. Campus administration again is working with technology direction solutions, and one of the reoccurring things that keeps coming up is the mass notification solutions. So Mr. Berger, in coordination with the administration and the coordination with the coordinator of safety and security, we will continue to look for solutions to those issues. Again, House Bill 496 update. Stop the bleed training. This is still a mandate that came out of TEA prior to COVID-19. They have not revisited this issue because of COVID-19. So we haven't got any questions from them about what are we doing. The district continues to have small training venues to the degree we can at the campuses, and that venue pretty much looks like this. If an administrator called and say, hey, look, I need to get my staff trained and stop the bleed, I will go there and park at their campus in one of their multi-purpose rooms, and then small classes of 6 to 8 will roll through during their conference periods, and they will get the stop the bleed training. So we have continued to do that. So our numbers for stop the bleed have grown significantly, and I think we are well positioned, better than any other district that I've had contact with, to make sure that we're on track to meet this. We have deployed, again, emergency go buckets. And inside those buckets are, stop the bleed kits, first aid kits, emergency blankets, whistles, water, and flashlights, and then other items. And based on the district's funding out of the 2019 bond, we have deployed a stop the bleed bucket or go kit in every single secondary classroom within the district. And then at the elementary schools, we have deployed 28 go buckets to those campuses. There's not one for every room. But the decision was made that most of our shooters, if there is an active shooter or in the secondary campus and higher, there's only been one incident across the country where it was done at an elementary school. So we left it to those campus principals to decide what is the best place for those buckets for them. If we had, all things perfect, had more money, we'd have deployed them there, but we didn't. So we had to make do with what we had. I need to get a big shout out to Miss Rita Pintavalli. It was on behalf of her staff and students that actually came together and formed basically assembly line and compiled all those go buckets. We had about 1,500 go buckets we had to do, and her students, about 50 of them came out, and they made short order of putting all those kits together and then putting them on a truck, and then heads off to Ken Schulte and his crew. He then made sure that all those buckets got to the appropriate campuses, and then heads off to all the principals on the line that they then deployed them within their campuses. So if something happens, we are well positioned to make sure that the staff and students there have an ability to take care of themselves if something tragic happens. Blackout Shades, that's another 2019 bond issue. Again, because of COVID-19, most manufacturers have shut down. So trying to get those items has been a interesting process. But again, we got 1,280 shades on order, and they're basically to cover up the windows in all the classrooms. If there's an event, the campus teachers will be able to black their rooms out, turn off the lights, doors locked, get out of sight, and hopefully prevent anything tragic from happening. The delivery date is anticipated at the end of May of this year. So hopefully by the start of this next school year, all those blackout shades should hopefully be in all the classrooms in the school district. Phase 2, the radio project, I kind of told you about this a little bit in the last briefing, but I'm happy to report this. The district-wide radio system is now complete. All the towers and repeaters are up. The Operation Radio Tower Restoration, which needed to be fixed, has been done. 80 radios and 73 bus radios have been deployed to the district. I am still in the process of delivering the 80 radios to the different entities within the district. The remaining ones are the administration. So transportation has radios, the maintenance and operation has their radios, child nutrition has their radios, and the only ones I have left to deploy is to the cabinet, Mr. Massey and his crew. And then once that is done, if there's an event or if Mr. Massey needs to talk to any of his administrators, he can push one button and talk to all campuses at the same time. And it has the availability where maintenance and operations can talk to all their staff at the same time on their own channel. The child nutrition is on the maintenance channel, so they can talk to them. Transportation has its own channel. Security has its own channel. And then operations has a channel. And then we're working with the manufacturer, which is Motorola, Bearcom. to put the actual IP addresses for each of the radios in there. So if Mr. Massey wanted to talk directly to Mr. Whitehead, he would be able to ping his radio specifically without hitting all the other channels. So that's a process that's ongoing. And then the, let's see where next. The Texas School Safety Center and TEA Emergency Operation Plan Audit. Those folks that, say I'm from the FBI and I'm here to help, they're very cordial and, they really want to help. We just want to be able to make sure everything is documented. So we have submitted all the documentations required to TEA and Texas School Safety Center that I kind of briefed you before on, and all of them have been reviewed. And I am thankful to report that they reviewed the documentation and said they have no new information that they need from us. So which is a blessing, which means we have met all their criteria at their first look or blush at it. I'll wait to see what they come back with next. Reunification protocols and equipment. Everything has, the trailer is the only missing piece that we do not currently have yet. And that trailer is an integral part because if we have to have a reunification event, we've got a ton of equipment that needs to be deployed. And we don't have the mechanisms to do that yet, but all the equipment has been ordered, has been compiled, and we have it stockpiled and in a secure location. So if we have an event, hopefully we'll get some pickup trucks and throw the stuff in the back and go get to where we need to get to. But in the interim, we're just waiting on the trailer so we can be ready to roll at a moment's notice. And the anticipated date for that trailer to be available due to the COVID-19 backlog and lack of manufacturing will be late September, early October of next year.
Mr. Morrow, there was a question about, so a few slides back on the radio frequency. Somebody had a question about the radio frequency, if it was 700 or 400.
It's 400, I think. Let me see if I can find where that came in. I believe it's 400 megahertz. Does that answer the question? Hopefully
Yeah, I think that's what they were asking. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Then the command module integration project. That was the project that was integrated all the systems together. That project, the RFP / interviews have been conducted, and that project has been turned over to the business office and the technology department for further implementation. So they will have to give us, information on where that's going. So they have everything that they need. Now it just becomes a prioritization of what takes place first versus second versus third. So that process is ongoing, and hopefully we'll have some more information by the time we meet the next year at our next committee meeting.
I can give a really brief update on that as well, Ty.
Okay.
We've been back and forth evaluating. We kind of did more of an RFQ.
Okay.
We started with an RFP and then decided maybe it made more sense to do an RFQ. And so we were talking with Schneider, Honeywell, and then also Johnson. And so actually just I think about a week ago, we finally, after many conversations and having them look, each integrator look very closely at our systems and have a lot of discussions with all the different pieces involved. I think we've decided that we are going to select Johnson moving forward as our, our partner for design and implementation, and then we'll just utilize a purchasing cooperative to meet financial regulations as far as engaging and all that. So we recently, I think Friday afternoon, got an updated MOU, I guess, from them. And then once we get that signed off, then we'll start developing a scope of work, which we'll start engaging the full team again to kind of look at that scope of work and see what all it's going to involve.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Berger, for that update. So any other questions regarding that from anyone on the line? Seeing none, I will continue to move forward. Safety and security license of security staff. I think this was identified, and due to a number of reasons, we have not acted on this, COVID-19 being the most important one. But one of the issues is if you have your personnel listed as security anywhere on their uniforms or acting in a security capacity under the Texas law, those individuals have to meet the state minimum certifications requirements, which is not huge. It's just a process that you have to go through. So I have already identified what needs to be done, which basically means the district has to be set up as a technical security company under the Texas law. And then once that is set up, we can then have the security personnel get their what's called their type B or step 2 license, which basically means they attend a short class that gives them the do's and the don'ts of security. And then after that, they can then get a certificate from that class that they again can submit to the state. And then the state will then assign them to our organization, which is represented as a security company, even though we're not a security company or a school district, to meet the compliance or the letter of the law. So that's an ongoing process. It's not a real problematic problem unless something happens. So I'm trying to get that accomplished over the summer during some summer PDs to make that officially happen. Any questions on that one? None. That brings us down to the end. Oh, wait a minute. I think I missed one. Nope, that brings us to the end. That was quick. So our next meeting dates for planning for next year, for those of you that are out there, is September the 27th, 2021 at 4 p.m. Then January 24th, 2022 at 4 p.m. And then May 9th, 2022 at 4 p.m. These are all Monday afternoons. Try to keep them consistent. At start of school, about the midway through school, and then the last one at the end of the year. And that is all I have, folks, unless you have questions. Yes, Mr. Solis.
I don't have any question. I accidentally pressed the hand.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes, sir. No worries. Any questions for anybody?
Hey, Ty, I was going to say that some of the people came in a little late. If you came in late and did not sign the roster, go into the comment section in the form that Jay put in there and fill that out, please.
Thank you, Chief Wade. I appreciate that. Yeah, because I need to make sure I got an accurate roll who was here. So if you did not do that, if you could please do that, would be most helpful. And again, in difference to your time, I want to thank all of you for taking the time out of your very, very busy schedule to actually be on this call. And then I finally want to wish all our, particular administrators, our teachers, and any staff from BISD, I want to take my hats off to you. I know this has been a very, very difficult and extremely difficult year with COVID and all the things that we had to go through that process. But as true leaders, you did your job and you did it well. And for our other community partners, I want to wish all of you a happy and a very blessed and safe summer. And I will see you all back in September, if not before. So that's all, folks. That's all I got.
Thank you, Ty.
All right,
Thanks,
guys.
Ty.
All right,
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks,
Thank
Ty.
you.
Everyone.
All right.